Down, everybody. Well, we have reached another Friday afternoon and I'm going to read you our Cinderella story one last time and we can have a little think about all the things we've been up to this week. I hope you've had a nice week. I know I have. So here we go. Cinderella. Cinderella's sisters were such a rotten pair. She did all the housework. They never did their share. A party invitation came from the prince one day. Cinder said, "Can I come too?" Her sisters said, "No way." Not kind. And we were looking, weren't we, at these flaps? And do you remember? We made our own lift the flap pages, didn't we? I did mine with lots of things that begin with an sound. If you haven't had a chance to do one, maybe you could do one over the Easter holidays. Poor Cinderella having to do all the work. And we talked about doing housework and said it would be really kind if we could help our grown-ups while we're all at home together. Have you helped your grown-ups this week? If you haven't yet, you could do that over the Easter holidays too. "You must help us get ready. And don't you pull that face. Go and fetch our party frocks, our fans, our jewels, our lace." Cinders did up all their buttons and then she tied their bows, put rings on every finger and powder on each nose. So there's all their dressing up clothes there in their box. Have you got any dressing up clothes? I like dressing up. And let's have a look here. Getting changed there. And this page made us think about the Ugly Sisters beauty salon, didn't it? And I put some funny makeup on Mr. Roberts and painted all his fingernails blue. I wonder if you've done any funny makeup on anybody. "See you later," said the sisters. Cinder sobbed, "It isn't fair. I never go to parties or have nice things to wear." All at once there was a flash and a puff of purple smoke. It was her fairy godmother. She smiled and then she spoke. Now the fairy godmother there, look, she's holding her magic wand, isn't she? And we made magic wands. I've still got mine. We could do our own spell books too, couldn't we? "Find me a pumpkin and a frog and 2 white mice as well. Put them in the garden and we will cast a spell." The fairy waved her magic wand. "Here's a coach and a ball gown too. Have fun at the party, Cinders, but there's one thing you must do." Can you remember what that was? She had to be home at a certain time, didn't she? Can you remember what time it was? It was midnight, 12 o'clock. Ta-da! There's the horses and the carriage and beautiful Cinderella. "You must be home by 12 o'clock. Cinders said, "Okay," and went off to the palace to dance the night away. And we opened up those doors and there's her carriage waiting outside. She had a really brilliant time. The prince liked her the best. Her sisters whispered, "Who's that girl?" They never even guessed. There they are, look, hiding behind their fans. Oh, they don't look very happy, do they? What's this? It's called a grandfather clock, that great big clock. And we were thinking all about time, weren't we? And we were learning to tell when it's an o'clock time, when that big hand is pointing up to the 12. And some of us even made our own clocks too. Oh, look, she's hiding behind that tree. There she is. All too soon the clock struck 12 and Cinders gasped, "Oh no!" She dashed out of the palace as fast as she could go. The prince looked for her everywhere, but only found her shoe. She'd lost it when she'd run away. He thought, "Here's what I'll do." Can you remember what he did? He went to look for her, didn't he? With the shoe to try on. "I'll make each girl in the kingdom try on this shoe to see if I can find the owner, 'cause she's the one for me." And there he is, he's come to Cinderella's house, hasn't he? And the ugly sisters are trying to squeeze their feet into that shoe, but it just won't fit. When Cinder's sisters had their turn, they pushed and shoved and squeezed, but their feet were much too big, and the prince was jolly pleased. As they're too grumpy, he doesn't want to marry them, does he? Can you see Cinderella? She's just behind the piano, isn't she? And when we were looking at this page, it made us think about shoes, and we went on a bit of a shoe hunt, and you found 5 shoes, and then we looked at how long and how short they were, and we could see if we could measure them too. So if you haven't had a chance to do that, there's something you could do over Easter too. And he was just about to leave when Cinderella appeared. "May I try on the shoe?" she asked. Her horrid sisters sneered. That means they did a mean sort of laugh. Imagine their astonishment. They wailed, "Oh, it cannot be!" The shoe fitted her perfectly, and the prince cried, "Marry me!" Oh, there's the mouse and the pumpkin. And what's under here? Oh, another little mouse. They look happy now, Cinderella and the prince, don't they? Happy Cinderella said to the prince, "I'm yours, but only if you promise we'll share the household chores." It was the wedding of the year. Guests came from far and wide, and even Cinder's sisters said she made a lovely bride. There she is, in her beautiful wedding dress. Wow. Well, I've really enjoyed reading our Cinderella book this week and doing all those activities. Had a lovely week. And so now it's time for us to think about all the things we've enjoyed and to get out our special box. Now, if you didn't have a chance to make one of these last week, I'll talk you through what it is now. So we decided that we would keep a special box for all the time that we're having our school at home. And every week on a Friday, we would put 2 notes inside our box. So these are the ones I put in last Friday. I've even decorated my box now, look. And each week we're going to write one thing that we've really enjoyed doing this week. And one thing that we can't wait to do when we're allowed to go away from our houses and our gardens. So I've already decided what I'm going to write. My first thing I can't wait to do is to give my mummy, so that's my little boy's nanny, a great big cuddle, because she's in her house and I'm in my house and I can't see her at the moment. So I ring her on the telephone. I can't give her a cuddle. So I am going to do that when we're allowed away from our houses. So I'm going to write cuddle, cuddle my mum. What's mum begin with? Well done. Cuddle my mum. I'm going to fold that up and put it in there. And then one thing I've really enjoyed doing this week, well, that's tricky because we've done lots and lots of exciting things, but my favourite by far, I think, is putting makeup on Mr. Roberts, because he never normally lets me do that. So I'm going to put that I've enjoyed putting makeup. Makeup, what does that begin with? Putting makeup on. Down on Mr. Roberts. What's Roberts begin with? Mr. Roberts. Those are my two favourite things from this week. So I hope you've done some lovely things too. Right, it's going to be time for me to go in a minute then. And next week, it's going to be our Easter holidays. So we'll still be in our houses and our gardens. We're supposed to have some nice sunshine, so that will be lovely. But we won't be doing lessons like this every single day. We're going to have a little bit of time to spend with our families, playing and doing lots of fun things like that. So next week, I'm going to put some videos on that might give you some ideas for some fun things that you can do leading up to Easter, because it will be Easter the weekend afterwards. So maybe some fun things with paint and some things we can make that will make us think all about Easter. So I hope you have a super weekend on Saturday and Sunday, and then on Monday you can tune in and you can watch one of our special little Easter videos.